Let's talk about the strategic differences between Gauntlets and Dreadmace on a high level, and at the end of this video we're going to look at a wild, high skill, high damage way to play that integrates both. We're not going to talk about the flail because its uses are obvious. You get a lot of resources back from groups, it breaks armor very quickly, it's straightforward, and it doesn't have the larger tactical depth of the other two. So Gauntlets versus Dreadmace, let's get the obvious differences out of the way. Gauntlets. 3 charges, upgradable to 4, gained through parries. 4th melee charge stays until used, and upon use can be recharged after 5 seconds. Fastest recharging melee in the game. Upgraded gauntlets get 1 charge refill for every parry. Incredibly fast startup and fast recovery. 3rd hit is a high damage faltering kick that does not falter certain enemies like bosses. 4th hit falters 2 and does even more damage. Targets 1 enemy at a time. Good for continuous small ammo replenishment. Dreadmace. 1 charge, upgradable to 2, gained through parries. 2nd melee charge disappears after 4 seconds, and upon use can be recharged after 15 seconds. Very slow natural recharge. Parries recharge it by 1/4 and dash by 1/6. Incredibly slow startup and slow recovery. Hit is a very high damage falter against any enemy in the game, even bosses. Additional splash damage. Good for periodic large ammo replenishment. Upgraded Dreadmace spawns health drops from demons killed by it. Instantly breaks the armor of anything under a super heavy. Gauntlets can be upgraded to apply Jolt to the contact of the first punch of the series, increasing the damage of everything after it, melee or guns, by 20%. And while Jolt is activated, the 4th Gauntlet strike is comparable to the damage of a Dreadmace hit, 19,200 compared to 22,000, pretty close. Jolt is a very strong way to increase your damage output that also comes from the Heaven Splitter shield rune and the Cycler plasma rifle, but if you're not using those, gauntlets are going to be your only way of applying it. And many of you have probably noticed the fast gauntlets trick when using automatic weapons. Holding fire for a couple seconds first will cause the series to come out much faster. You can't be a gauntlets user without knowing how to exploit this. Gauntlets are the far more technical option, but often very rewarding because of how quickly it regenerates. A Dreadmace or double Dreadmace will definitely do the job, especially against a group of enemies, but then it's gone for quite a while. But the real difference between these, you probably guessed it by now if you watch my content, it's falters. As shown in the comparison list, a Dreadmace falter is so heavy that it will falter bosses, and because the one hit of the Dreadmace is that falter, even with the slow startup, you get it faster than the Gauntlet's kick. What does this mean? Well, it gives the Dreadmace an advantage in certain situations. If what you see is an enemy that you want to falter right now, it's the right option. Let's say you're tackling an Archvile or a Warlock and you have no spear power. If you go in and start swinging gauntlets, you could easily get hit, and he could teleport away from you, which is the primary thing you want to stop. So fly in with a Dreadmace hit and unload on him with whatever you got. If you don't kill, you'll at least have damaged him a great deal. Against a Cosmic Elemental, it's a big risk to go in and swing gauntlets against him because he has no parryable melee attacks up close to set up a falter, so Dreadmace is the way to go to get some heavy damage. Shatter his skulls with a spear toss, fly in with a Dreadmace, and he'll be weak enough to take down soon after that. Come up to him with a spear slam, shoot him on the way in, and the falter gives you a safe Dreadmace. Or if you can falter him somehow first, you can land a power shot on him before the Dreadmace. You can't do much better than a Cosmic Elemental dead in 4 seconds. Against a Cyber Demon, when you hit the mid-health Glory Strike, Dreadmace is fast enough to interrupt whatever attack he could do after it, and then he's dead with a single shot after. So yes, the Dreadmace is the slowest weapon, but it's also the fastest falter. Knowing where to place it makes it much more useful than just swinging it for damage. But the gauntlets are no joke. In addition to their super fast recharge rate and very nice damage thanks to constant heavy strikes and the application of Jolt, the falter game of gauntlets shines brightest through delayed and targeted falters. There's a forgiving window between each strike of your melee series, allowing you to throw a punch, wait a bit, throw another, wait a bit, and now you have this powerful faltering kick locked and loaded to ruin someone's day. Combine this with the even more damaging chargeable 4th hit and you start cleaning house. I'm talking 1 hit on a Caco Demon. When taking on super heavies, gauntlets require knowledge of your enemy. How long are the openings between their attacks? Sneak in one punch after a Cosmic Baron swipe if you're using the shield, or after a dash with the spear. A single melee between parries on an Agadon leader, waiting for the second parry to falter so you can finish the series, but 2 or 3 can be landed on an Agadon hunter's first attack because of the immediate parry falter. One after a Cyber Demon swipe, then smart pacing of gun damage and melee as he goes in and out of his Glory Strike state, awaiting the devastating delayed falter from the 4th hit. Understanding at which point of the series you are as you use melee on common enemies allows you to be ready to pull the trigger against a heavier demon and capitalize on the opening. High knowledge of enemy behaviors, enemy attack windows, and which strike you're on can lead to a devastating dance of destruction. All 3 or 4 gauntlet charges spent will be back in a matter of seconds with parries and dashes, and with the naturally fast recharge time they already have, you can do it all over again, making them great for taking on multiple super heavy demons at a time. So gauntlets provide this constant source of high damage in targeting falters, using Jolt, Kick, and 4th melee strike, but you gotta know when it's safe to actually throw those punches in falter states and in between parries. If you do, it can always be rolling. But Dreadmace's most optimal rhythm is built around taking advantage of the extra charge and knowing when it's going to come back, not spending the base charge. So you'll parry to build the extra charge, spend it right away, and then put it out of your mind until you get the next extra charge about 15 seconds later, and then spend it again. And you can find this satisfying rhythm of swinging Dreadmaces spaced out kinda equally, and you'll always have the base charge in case you really need to spend it. But if you do, you're gonna have to parry a lot to get it back. The extra Dreadmace charge actually ties into what I see as its biggest weakness, and that's the fact that due to its slow startup, if you use it outside of a safe falter window, there's a decent chance a target could move out of the target zone, and if that happens, the extra charge will be lost. It really sucks, and it's made worse by the fact that this extra charge is only good for 4 seconds, and then you gotta earn it again. So when you get it, you want to spend it, and that can lead to panicky, badly set up swings that could miss. A smart Dreadmace user will be prepared, knowing when a parry is going to grant the extra charge, and when to intentionally parry to get one. So which is better, Gauntlets or Dreadmace? Well, I'm sure everyone has a preference and opinion of which is better, but after spending all this time breaking them down, I feel like they're both just excellent and shine in their own moments. They complement players differently depending on their playstyles, their loadouts, their habits and preferences, and they cover different weaknesses a person might have. However, in my opinion, the real key, if you're looking to get out a bunch of damage all in one go, is to use both melee options by leading with double Dreadmace and quickly switching to Gauntlets immediately after to exploit the fast recharge. Let's say, God forbid, you're fighting 2 Cosmic Barons at once. You only have 1 Dreadmace, you unload it, and what do? Switch to Gauntlets right then and start charging it up. Within seconds, you're landing more high-damaging falters, killing the first and stun-locking the second. The tactic is essentially to come in with the Dreadmace early, and if it's fully charged, parry once to get the second charge, and then dump them both out on a heavy threat. Or use the extra on one guy, the other on someone else, and then hit the melee switch button during the swing and be ready to build Gauntlets immediately. It's a really intense and high damage way to play, but it's also very confrontational because you'll need to be up close parrying and dashing attacks to build melee charges to keep dumping out punches. I'm not saying it's a tactic to use all the time, but it can wipe out 2 or 3 big guys really fast if you get good at it, and combining it with Spear Stab is just incredible. Thank you for watching, it's been really fun diving back into Doom these past couple weeks.